that lets you save.
Look here.
True Form Life.
There's a good handful of you that said I'm not able to sleep throughout the night. And it's because we don't have what we need in our cells at a deep level, at a cellular level. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that's all based around the stimulants and the lights and what's going on in our minds.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in, for being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
I'm going to go over light. So we have a lot of issues around blue light when it comes to sleep. We also have routines. I want to talk about having a proper evening routine. Dorothy and I are huge routine people. And then I want to talk about stimulants. So that's what we're going to talk about. So it looks like I got about maybe 5 minutes on each subject. Dorothy and I run a business called True Form Life. That is a nutrition and fitness business, and we're also into supplements. We have plant-based protein. We have magnesium, a line of magnesium salts, spray, gel, and flakes. So that's what we do. We do nutrition online and fitness online, and then we also sell our products. We really specialize in energy and digestion, but people come to us, which is the majority of people come to us for, but we also have people come to us for other reasons like meal planning or workouts and such. Our fitness family is an online membership site where people work out with us. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we work out live. We do meal planning, so we give them a meal plan a week in advance. So that's a lot of what we do. And I've also wrote a couple books. Detoxify Yourself is one of them. So that's the quick flyby of who we are and what we do. Okay, so stimulants is probably the easiest one to talk about, and everything is going to be very related. So if you look at stimulants, we're talking about alcohol, tobacco, refined sugar, and processed food. Those are the four pillars, if you will, of stimulants. I think it's it's a habit that we have formed when it comes to alcohol and tobacco. Most people are like, they may go for a cigarette at night, and then like we have that nicotine, and nicotine is a stimulant. So that actually wakes us up. Even though some people are like, oh, it actually helps me sleep, we have to understand that there are reasons why we aren't as healthy as we want to be or hope to be. And a lot of you are talking about, or there's a good handful of you that said, I'm not able to sleep throughout the night. And it's because we don't have what we need in our cells at a deep level, at a cellular level. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that's all based around the stimulants and the lights and what's going on in our minds. So when it comes to alcohol, like having a beer after work or having even a glass of wine, like I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. All I'm saying is that it does act as a stimulant, and it makes it more challenging for us to fall asleep or to get a deep sleep. Tobacco is the same. I just talked about that's how tobacco is nicotine. That's what we're addicted to. I was actually doing some research, and I found that there are benefits of nicotine separate from the smoking, for example. They can actually extract the nicotine, but you get to become addicted to it. So, I mean, that's probably for a different topic. For this purpose of sleep, the nicotine and alcohol, if you want to get a good night's sleep, that needs to be removed in a slow, sustainable process. And then sugar, a lot of times we go to the pantry in the evening, we're looking for chips, we're looking for pop, we're looking for all kinds of different sugary substances. And like sugar is a drug. It hits us at a deep level, and it disrupts our cells. So I don't think that a lot of people put that together like, oh, all I had was a Coke, like that's not a big deal. Or I had a couple cookies, like what's the big deal? But it is a big deal, especially if you want to pair sleep with what you're putting in your body. So sugar's a stimulant. It's going to wake us up. It's going to have our cells bouncing around. So even though you're exhausted, emotionally, physically, you hit the pillow and you fall asleep, after a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, you're up. Some people are wide awake, but that's that sugar kicking in at a deep level, and it's staying to your cells like, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a stimulant. So those are the the 4 pillars of stimulants that we need to stay away from, which will help you get your best sleep ever. That's something that I want to talk about as well, putting your body in a relaxed state. Like when we're stressed out, we're bouncing around and like we can't think and our emotions are all over the place. So stress without question is a big issue. But hopefully the evening routine I'm going to talk about will address that. Is fruit bad before bed? That's an interesting question. I would say no, fruit is not bad before bed. I think that we live in a world of fear. We're afraid of carbs. We're afraid of we're afraid of the economic situation, but we're afraid of fats. We're afraid of fruit. Like when you have something like a piece of fruit and it's good, clean, it's not processed, it comes from the tree. Hopefully it's not sprayed, and if it is, you can wash it down with Thieves veggie spray, but that will definitely help. But we believe in having a meal before bed. If you so you have your dinner around 6 o'clock, and then we ask people to eat again around 8 o'clock, but depending on what time you go to bed or time you go to sleep, because then you're not craving. It's really hard to fall asleep on an empty stomach, which is another really good point, is that if we have good, clean foods in our digestive system, right before we go to bed, we tend to fall asleep a little bit easier. But when we have the stimulants, when we have big, heavy meals, like big bowls of pasta, for example, processed food that's hard to digest, that tends to keep us up, or it doesn't really get us that really deep REM sleep because our digestive system is taking so much energy and effort to digest that food, break it down, then utilize it and absorb it. So, okay, so that is stimulants. I know I'm going a bit quick, but like I said, I want to get you guys out of here at a good time. Light is a huge one. Like light is so important. Your computer screen, your iPad, your laptop, your phone, the lights in your ceiling, in most cases, those are LED blue lights, and they are so detrimental to our health. And there's so many studies that I've been going over and reading, not just in prep for this show, but this did help. Blue light glasses 100% are something that will help. So let me get into a bit more detail here. So the lights from your devices actually affect your body on a cellular level. So again, you can look at the lights on your alarm clock. We bring our phones to bed. We have our night light is blue light. So we're reading under a blue light. And that keeps us up. That affects our cells at a deep level, and they act as stimulants. So a lot of people are concerned about their eye health just for seeing, for example, but your eye health is directly related to your nervous system. So your eyes, and what's very interesting is your teeth, that all goes deep into your core and affects everything about your body. So when we say, oh, I'm only bringing my phone for an alarm clock, but you scroll your news feed right before you go to bed, and then you wake up in the middle of the night to pee and you scroll again, and then the first thing you do is you pick up your phone and you scroll again. That's blue light that's affecting your overall health, not just your vision, but it's affecting your organs. It affects your digestive system. It affects your heart rate. Like it's crazy what this blue light does to us, and we're so surrounded by it. It's so common we don't think about it. So a couple things that we talk about. So Dorothy and I have a rule, if you will, and we say no phones in the bedroom. And that's something that is very important, because you're not tempted to look at it first thing in the morning, because you're not tempted to look at it middle of the night. And the same thing with TVs. This is a tough one. People don't really want to get on board with it. They don't want to think about it or believe it, but you're watching a TV. Just think about this as a stimulant. You're watching TV. you are stimulated, you have blue light, you have action, you have noise, you have violence. You turn the TV off and then you try to go to sleep. Some people fall asleep right away, but then in the middle of the night, they're awake. And like, why am I wide awake? Well, you just had blue light going through your eyes to the rest of your body, and then your brain is stimulated because you have a number of other things going on because of the blue light. So it's super important to not watch TV right before you go to bed. Experts say 1 to 2 hours. I would say at least 30 minutes. I know 2 hours is a stretch for most people. At least 30 minutes of no phones, no TVs, no computers. It's challenging, but it's got to be done. I think it's easy to give ourselves excuses as human beings. It's like, oh, I'll just have this bag of chips before bed. It won't be that bad because I don't do it once in a while. Or I'm going to have this Coke and I only have a Coke once in a while. Like, we can justify just about anything. Same thing with the TV in the bedroom. Same thing with the phones. I need it for safety. Like, I have some good friends and their kids are 14 and 16 and they don't have cell phones. And they say, well, they don't need cell phones. Of course, they're greeny type of people. But then I have other people that say, oh, I would never I've heard this before. I've never send my kids anywhere without a cell phone for safety purposes. So you have two different, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts coming in. But you have two different sides, but we can justify just about anything. Just understand when it comes to your health, you have to make some sacrifices and you have to do things that you wouldn't normally do. 30 minutes of no screen time before bedtime, that's fantastic. And I would try to slowly increase that to 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I didn't get a chance to talk about other options, but so we're big fans of Himalayan salt lamps. We have these all over the place. So red light and yellow/orange, orange/yellow light is actually really good. So more orangey than yellow. So there's actually tons of health benefits to being around the sun, to getting direct sunlight when it's going down and when it's coming up. It's when it's at its peak, when you want to put sunglasses on or probably try to avoid being in direct sunlight. But if you're looking at the reds and oranges, that actually has proven to help improve your health in many different ways, including your eyesight. So Himalayan salt lamps is like an orangey light. We have these all over the house. So these actually light up the house when the lights are off, which is pretty cool. These also give off negative ions. And blue lights, including computers, phones, laptops, iPads, they give off positive ions, which are disruptive to our health. So if you have something like Himalayan salt in and around your house, that can really help improve your health. We actually give these away for like baby presents to our friends and family. And we have our friends and family say they've actually made a difference in their kids sleeping. So that's something you can have. I wouldn't keep it on all night, but I would have that as the last thing on. So that's right beside my bed. That's the last light that goes off before I fall asleep. If you're looking for something to help with sleep, you put the magnesium flakes in a bath in hot water and you soak in there for 20, 30 minutes. And then you go to bed and you're out like a light and you're in a deep REM sleep. It's fantastic, especially when we hear people that kind of first experience it. See, the thing is that most people, they sleep for like on and off. We don't have proper routines. We don't put proper food in our body. We're up and down. I mean, like, we're in and out of sleep. We don't get that deep REM sleep. And when I say REM sleep, I mean rapid eye movement sleep. And then someone says, well, I only need like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And I'm saying, well, when's the last time you had 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep? Everyone needs a different amount of sleep. But I think that those people that feel like they can get by on like 5.5 hours of sleep, they really don't have that. They've never really experienced a deep REM sleep. So I wanted to mention in the evening. So in the evenings, you can do a few different things to help improve or decrease you decrease the blue light. So if you look at your phone, if you hit the very bottom corner, let me see if I can do this. So if you hit the very bottom, you can actually scroll up and you can look at the different types of light you have here. So right here, mine's at the bottom edge. So you can make that very bright. I'd imagine most people's is like this. So this radiates more blue light. So I keep mine here most of the time. And then if you hold that button, if you hold it, you'll have a few different options here. So at least this is, everyone's phone is a bit different, but this is what mine looks like. So my dark mode is on, which means if I go to my main screen, it's dark, it's black. So I have less blue light radiating in my face. So I'm gonna hold that again. And if I turn that on, see how everything goes a bit lighter. My back screen is also black and white, so that helps as well. So you can't see that it's too white, but I like to keep that on dark mode and then also make sure that's down instead of super bright. That's just more blue light radiating into your body. So keep that down. So that's just a little phone hack to help you out. You can also, if you're on laptops later in the evening, you can also get a program, like free programs, that will automatically dim your screen, which will radiate less blue light. The other thing that you can do is turn off some of the lights. Like many times we have all the lights on in the house. I don't know why. Like the lights are on downstairs and no one's downstairs. We have lights on in every room of the house. So if you start to turn the lights off, you'll save energy, you'll save money on your electric bill, and you also have less blue light going into your body on a regular basis. A couple things that I mentioned, one of them is having Himalayan salt lamps as night lights. Those are really good. Again, they give off negative ions into the atmosphere, which counteract the positive ions that the blue light gives off. Something else that is going to be extreme for a lot of people is a red light. So in the bathroom, for example, so for me, when I start to shut down and I start to relax a bit, I start to turn off the lights. So we have the Himalayan salt lamps around the house, and then the bathroom. So the last place I go to the bathroom is to brush my teeth, wash my face, and get myself ready for bed. So instead of having a blue light, so all the lights are off basically, and what's lit up is the Himalayan salt lamp. So I have orange light there, and then when I go into the bathroom, the only light on is a red light. So now I don't have blue light radiating into my body when I'm right before I go to sleep. So that's super important, is to understand that you can do things to get less blue light in your body. That's going to act as stimulants when you're trying to sleep. So those are a couple things that you can do to get less blue light into your body. So just understand, like, I know some people that are extreme, they'll take electric tape everywhere they go. And anytime they go into a hotel room, they'll put electric tape over alarm clocks. They'll put them over like the TV box, sometimes those lights blink, those TV lights blink. So you could also consider that when you start to travel, or even in your own home if you want to do something like that. One of the things that I wanted to mention here is proper detergent. So I don't think a lot of people realize that you're putting toxins in your bed sheets if you don't wash with proper detergent. So this is our Thieves laundry soap. This is what we use, and it's so easy. It comes straight to the door. We know it's a clean company. We know it's a clean product. I don't have to go in the aisle, and I don't have to I get like sinusy and I get headaches when I go down that aisle. Then I'm looking through all the ingredients. I'm trying to find clean ingredients, which is almost impossible. So if you just get a clean product like the detergent, you're so much better off. For example, when we go to sleep, so we're in all day, we're breathing in toxins that affect our body. But then you go to sleep and you wash your stuff with, what is the stuff that you used to use? If you look at those conventional types of detergents that have toxins in them, that's your face on a pillow and your skin is absorbing those toxins. And then you're breathing in your sheets because you've just washed your stuff in those flowery, toxic, perfumey types of stuff. So that's also going to keep you up at night and not give you the opportunity to get a really deep sleep. So you want to stay away from those ones that most of us grew up with. And I know you guys are different. I think from what I know, most of you are on Young Living or on Thieves or making better choices. But just understand that a lot of people struggle with sleep. What's interesting? I always think this is funny, is that every time I ask a sleep question, like how many hours of sleep do you get? Most people like 85% of people say I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But that's what a question on social media. I ask it all the time. But then you talk to people and they're like tired and groggy and they're not really awake because they don't get a good night's sleep. So we're probably not getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And if you think you're getting 7 hours, you're probably getting 5. If you think you're getting 10 hours, you're probably getting 8. That's just how it works. Same thing when we teach people about hydration. When you're drinking water, most people are like, oh, I drink at least 2-3 liters of water a day. And we're like, okay, let's count. And they're like a half a liter. And the reason I know that is because I worked with people one-on-one as a personal trainer for years. And I had them carry around nutrition journals and they track their food and their intake. And 9 times out of 10, people would be like, oh, I can't believe that I drink that little water, for example. So relate that to sleep as well. The last thing I want to talk about is routines. So it's super important to set your evening up in a proper routine. So Dorothy and I are big morning routine people. So morning routine it's religion. You do it without thinking about it. And that's where we want you to get. So when you start your morning routines, you're not going to be where you want to be. It's going to take time and effort. So what you do is you start off slowly. So for example, Dorothy and I have an extensive morning routine. So I could tell you Dorothy's. Dorothy, do you want to tell yours? Like, so in our place in Olds, we have like an individual personalized sauna. So it's a bit different. Everywhere we go, it's slightly different, but similar. So we wake up and have magnesium first thing in the morning, liquid magnesium. And then we have kombucha, and then we have a green smoothie. So that's first thing in the morning. Then we go downstairs. Dorothy usually jumps on the treadmill and I get my morning stretches in. She jumps in the sauna. Then I get in. Then I jump on the treadmill. She goes up and have breakfast. Then I go in the sauna. And that's what it's like. That takes about an hour. So it's magnesium, kombucha, green smoothie, stretching, treadmill, sauna, breakfast. That takes about an hour. And I know that's extreme to a lot of people. But understand that is set up because of our evening. Our morning routine is set up because of our evening routine. So what I do is I fill my diffusers up the night before. I pour my magnesium the night before. I pour my kombucha. I pour my cereal. Everything is set up the night before. So this is my morning routine. The lights go off. The only thing that's on is the salt lamps. I got the red light on in the bathroom. So less blue light is radiating into our bodies. And then we stay away from processed or refined. So all this that we're talking about is forming healthy habits. So we have to start to understand that all the things that we do is the reason that we feel much better about ourselves and can get a deep night's sleep and can get the best sleep of your life. Sound good? So this is a little breather. So I also use this. I use this in peppermint right before bed. So there's a peppermint in there and I just breathe that in so it clears my sinuses so I can breathe deeper as I sleep. So that's pretty much it. I'm way late, but I started late. That's pretty much what we got. I'm just looking at my list here to see if there's anything that we didn't go over. Like there's other things that we could talk about or we could go over. Like there's people that sleep. Like for example, if you look at people that sleep on their bellies are at health risk. Their health risk doubles in different areas for obesity, for diabetes, for dementia, and for heart risk. So those are 4 super dangers that almost double if you sleep on your belly instead of sleeping on your side. So you guys are going to want to start sleeping on your side. If you're snoring, a lot of people don't realize that your health, the risk of your health declining if you're a snorer is through the roof compared to people that don't snore. So the reason you snore, people think, oh, I'm just natural. I just snore. It's just what I do. It's not normal. Like we shouldn't be snoring. In most cases, we're eating too many foods that cause inflammation. So they actually cause our throat to be inflamed. And when we try to sleep, our breathing is being disrupted. So a lot of times people think that, oh, it's okay. I don't need to worry about it. That's just what happens, but it's not always the case. We have to understand that there's things that we can do to continually improve our health, and snoring is one of them. You have to understand that the food directly that you're putting into your body not only affects your digestion and your overall well-being or your sleep, but it also affects the inflammation in your throat, which is causing your snoring, which is going to skyrocket the health issues that are going to come. That's what I got. This is only scratching the surface of having your best sleep ever. So start to put together your healthy routines. Try to get rid of some of that blue light in your life. Nothing happens sustainably and lasting at once. I promise you that. If you take anything away tonight, it's that you shouldn't try to do everything all at once. Small steps are sustainable steps. Sustainable steps are long-lasting forever. So we have other areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together I have some pictures. There's about 16 to 20 of you in here, so I don't think I'm going to regret grabbing your emails. But if anyone wants more information, we have graphics. Like I have graphics of our morning routine, for example. I have graphics of what's the best light, for example. If you guys want to send me an email. So the problem is if I send you an email, it may go to your junk folder, and then people are like, well, why didn't you send me an email? You said you were. So if you send me an email and say, hey, Drew, I would like more of the, like, your graphics or your links. This week I've been putting up radio shows, interviews of people talking about sleep. We have our own videos that we put together. And like I said, we also have really nice graphics that we put together. We can put that all in an email and send it out to everyone if you want some more information. We have a Magnesium Facebook group if you're interested in that, or in the email you send me. You can say, I'd like to get into your Magnesium group so I can learn more about that as well. We have our True Form Facebook page, and then we also have a protein where we talk about more ingredients, some shakes and smoothies. Another Facebook group there too. So if you want me to email it to you, I'll put it together in one file. It's going to be a PDF, or it's going to be a one long sheet of details information. Dorothy says with an email, it's all in one spot. That's the easiest, because it's just a problem. Like people always ask, like, oh, I can't find it. Like I scrolled through it. Where do I find files in the group? Like groups are great. They've really given us the opportunity to do a lot of things for positive purposes, but we still send out emails because it's in one spot. Like here's the email, you got everything. In groups, you're flipping through, and when someone comments, like if someone comments on something from 2 weeks ago, that will go to the top. So a more relevant comment gets pushed down, so it's harder to find stuff. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Dorothy has her own page where she does lots of more Young Living stuff. So if you're more interested, I try to tie in some Young Living stuff here. Dorothy is my Young Living expert. If I have any issues, I go to her. And if you have any issues, if I have any questions about Young Living, I ask her. And you could definitely ask her. Okay, have a wonderful evening, everyone. If you want to send me an email for more details, send me an email. And if you don't, it's no problem. We don't spam anyone. We don't just do product. That's not what we're about. So I can definitely send out more details. And if not, it's perfectly okay. I hope you guys got a lot out of tonight. And I'd love to hear about how your best sleep ever went. See you guys soon. Thank you again so much for everyone that tuned in and joined me tonight. Have a good evening.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.